We're going to start a new series of questions. The person who's going to handle the first question is going to be John.
John, which one of the following taxes or fees, this is a partial list only, that were supported by Governor Lynch would you support or oppose, and why? We have the LLC tax, the cigarette tax, and the toll tax.
I'm not getting up. I don't support any of them. I mean, I'm going to take my time to tell you why it's just destructive. First of all, I said 80 taxes and fees. That doesn't include the last 4 that just came out of the budget fix. Taxing pet store owners to get $30-some-odd-thousand. During a time of a deep recession, we're having an LLC tax on our business community. Small businesses. My dad and mom owned a small business growing up. I watched how hard they worked. When that rooms and meals tax went up to 6%, my dad said, I'm running for state senate. I'm so upset. He was always opposed to a sales or income tax. He's a Democrat. We're not going to hold that against him. He's a great man, and he's a good man, and he cares about fiscal responsibility. That's why I said this isn't about Republicans. This is about working together to make sure we don't have those tax increases. And in my administration, we will not have those increases. We're going to be talking about tax cuts. We're going to be talking about the BET being reformed, business enterprise tax, because we're taxing businesses that lose money. We're one of the only states in the country that even thinks that way. 1 in 6 are leaving our state to work elsewhere, according to the Tax Foundation. That puts us 49th, only ahead of Maryland. We're 50th, dead last, in the business tax rate, the highest business tax rate on our small business community. I just finished a job before deciding to run for governor, for the governor of South Carolina, where we put him on a path to save $1.2 billion, the consulting group I had. And you know what? When I went down there in South Carolina, I see the industry and the big manufacturing plants, and I look at that, and I looked at Illinois when I helped the governor of Illinois, Democrat, come up with ideas to save billions. These states are not like New Hampshire. New Hampshire is about small businesses, employers, the small employer that makes it happen. And we're going to bring them relief in the next year that we get in control, because we need to help our business community. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Same question to you, Karen. I can repeat it if you need to.
Well, that's okay. I understood the question. Thank you very much. I would be vetoing every one of those taxes because we do not have, as I said before, a revenue problem. We have a spending problem. I want to tell you about a lady that I met the other day as I was leaving her facility, and she told me that the day before she had filed her state taxes, she said she wrote, it automatically comes out of her machine as the check, and she happened to glance down just before she signed it and was absolutely shocked. Overnight, her taxes went from $400 to almost $800. She said, I can't afford this. What we have going on in New Hampshire under the current administration is over-regulation and over-taxation of the people in this state, of the families in this state, of the businesses in the state. It is not government that creates jobs. It is businesses that create jobs. We need to give regulatory and tax certainty to our businesses so that they can forecast and that they can do what they do best, which is to create jobs. Second of all, we need to go in and repeal literally every one of the taxes that has been imposed upon the people of New Hampshire, the families of New Hampshire. The cow is running dry. We do not have the money. You cannot milk a dry cow. We need to go back and repeal as many of those taxes, reduce as many of the regulations as possible that are on our businesses. You know, I don't know if you realize it or not, but our business-friendly tax our business friendliness index has gone from 14 in 2004 to 33 in 2009. No wonder our businesses are leaving, they're not starting, they're not expanding, and they're closing. So we need to do something about that if we ever intend to return job security to this state. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. And for you, Frank, same question. Thank you.
Many of my opponents here have a very good education. My highest is NYU. For you that don't know, that's New York unemployment. You laugh, but it's true. And why do I say that? I wouldn't have voted for any of these taxes. My record is on file, so that it's there. And the representatives here, if they please raise their hands that are serving now, please raise your hands. I want you to check with these people and see how many new taxes the people in power actually put in there and how we voted to put them out of business by not doing it. The LLC tax, and I would have voted against that too, is still playing around. They wanted to table it, they wanted to do this. Come November, caution, you put the party in power and this governor that's sitting there now that can smile three ways, you're getting a sales and an income tax. Nobody, the representatives are here, they all know. It's been in committee for 4 years. Every time it comes election time, they hide it. So now you're going to have all these taxes and fees, plus the new ones. Now if that's what you want, you need to stay the course. I'm not staying the course. When I was unemployed and I needed money, it was tough in New York. Everybody kept raising taxes. We need taxes, taxes. We don't need taxes. And I think they're confused when people say the Boston Tea Party was taxation without representation, and some Looney Tune people think it means vote for me because I'm going to represent to tax you. I am not for all these taxes. They wanted a milk tax, they wanted a balloon tax, and the representatives here all know it. We need to stop it. As governor, I'm going to work with people in the New Hampshire House to get it done. That's the place it needs to be done. Not just as governor. The governor, like I said, can only veto it, sign it, or let it go for 5 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. And to conclude this question, Jack.
Well, clearly I wouldn't have been in favor of any of those taxes. I wouldn't have been in favor of any taxes, period. But let me expand on the LLC tax. I own 2 LLCs. And clearly, and I went, by the way, they had a hearing in Concord post-approval. It's against the Constitution, the state of New Hampshire, to approve a tax unless you've had 3 or 4 hearings with you, the people. And that never happened. They passed that in the middle of the night, and none of us got an opportunity to testify and express our lack of support for such a thing. But as a businessman, clearly the LLC tax would have been a business killer, because what it did was it said to LLC owners, you would have the Department of Revenue Administration agent come into your business, audit your books, and say, gee, you know, you took $100,000 in salary, but when I looked at the other LLCs similar to yours, they only took $20,000 or $25,000. We don't agree with that level. So what we're going to do is say 20 and 25 is accurate. We'll charge you an 8.5% tax on that. But we're going to charge you a supplementary 5 on the difference between $100,000 and $20,000 for a total of 13.5% in taxes. That would have killed innumerable businesses, therefore increased unemployment. Tobacco tax. Now they wonder why, when they increased the pack of cigarettes, and I don't smoke, I wish more people didn't, but some of you do, but 47 cents a pack. I mean, I think it's $65 to $68 for a carton of cigarettes, and last I checked, folks, the revenue stream that they've generated after they've increased the taxes has plummeted. It's plummeted. Why? Supply and demand. It's simple economics. Every Democrat and some Republicans should have to prove that they have had economics 101 in order to run for government. But anyway, those are the reasons you don't want to elicit taxes. Taxes kill whatever the tax is issued against. And that is bad across the board for all of you and small business.
Thank you, Jack.